Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got a banging series. It's the man who refuses to show his face. He's not going to LAN, even though the World Championship's around the corner, but he's winning so much stuff. He's in the finals, or close to, of every single online cup recently. It's Storm Gaming's MaxPax. The Wunderkind, the mysterious young man who at the age of about like 12 had a build which Beastie Cutie made famous in a YouTube video, and since then has gone from strength to strength. But he is up against the man that made it to the top 4 in last year's World Championship, is in a group of death filled with the best Terran players in the world. But despite facing those Korean Terrans, he's been getting ready, gearing up, and smashing through the opposition in Europe, also dominating the online scene. It's Mouse Esports HeroMarine. This is last week's ESL 160 EU Cup. Maybe technically the week before if it takes me a few extra days to put it out on YouTube. But it's always a good match between these two. Now, I would argue that there is very rarely have I seen MaxPax kind of get ahead in the early to mid game, and in general, Protoss players recently. I feel like it's been a story of them on the back foot against Terran, trying to survive. But once they get those Disruptors and Dark Templar out, things turning around. Marine first, does catch the probe. Very nicely done by HeroMarine there. So my point there is that there hasn't been a lot of them getting ahead, but we're on a bigger map pool now. And it means those Terran pushes don't hit with quite as much impact. And the Terrans are doing a little bit more multi-prong, but there's also more chance for Protoss backstabs and that sort of stuff. It's a bit less impact and immediacy with those pushes. And I feel like rather than seeing MaxPax hanging on equal workers with the Terran, down 30 army supply, just trying to survive and kind of hang on to Disruptors, we may start seeing Protoss players like him, like Hero, start to really get back in control of the matchup a little bit more and be the ones who are, especially on these big maps like Dragon Scales, Altitude, if Terran players are ever crazy enough to not veto that, those sort of maps, I think they might be a bit more mobile, and we might get to see some really dynamic play. Now, so far, this was a reactor into factory, into second gas. I think HeroMarine's just going to go for a standard Raven build. With the patch changes making the Raven more accessible, that's almost a no-brainer. Ooh, the probe had hit that SCV. We know that because the Adept two-shot it. Unfortunately for MaxPax, unable to slow down the commands, and he's got to be careful, though. Yeah, you got to be wary, but 2 Adepts smacks 3 Marines pretty hard, man. And, oh, good micro. He's even split-firing with the Adepts there. Gets the finish. So he's now killed a Marine and an SCV just off the back of micro and straight into Phoenix behind it. So a very defensive follow-up. And like I said, it's made up for you. The Raven builds faster. It's fantastic at harassment still, even if they're not as chunky and tanky. And that's why you know most Terrans are going to go Raven, 2 siege tanks into 3 barracks, and really play this very straightforward style. Small problem with this style, guys, is it's incredibly weak to Phoenix sniping the Raven. And if the Protoss player just goes straight on up from there into like charge, they can absolutely look to swarm. But because they go 3 racks so often, it looks like MaxPax is going to go Colossus afterwards. His good start backfires. 2 Adepts going down for free there. And we do need to point out as well that HeroMarine, if he just goes single Raven and swaps the factory and the starport off and gets 2 barracks on these, he can go straight into very quick biomine and just have so much mobility that it's very difficult for MaxPax to take a third. On the other hand, if HeroMarine commits to a 2nd tank and a 3rd tank, that sort of stuff, he's going to have more of the ability to fight front on, where if he can protect the Raven, he's always got interference matrix to use on Colossus. The siege tanks can also outrange the Colossus, so he can siege up a 3rd with more of a frontal push. And this is really the dynamic you want to look for in PvT in general, is from the Terran side, is he playing that multi-prong style, which is basically like Cure and Clem do almost every game. That's their much preferred style, is like just mines, medevacs. Okay, you've got Colossus, they outrange me, but half my army's at your 3rd, half my army's dropping your main. Have fun dealing with that with your Colossus and your Disruptors. You know, it's just like a swarming style. Tanks, on the other hand, less mobile, much better defensively, though. Very hard to break through tanks. Phoenix going to come in, show themselves, start to pick off a few Marines. That's a nice start. And going to pick off 2 SCVs, 3 SCVs as well. That's a very good first showing of the Phoenix. Of course, the Phoenix are no doubt a little bit unhappy, I would argue, that they didn't catch a Widowmine drop. If HeroMarine had gone Widowmine drop into Raven, that would have been the worst case. Now, Bunker does get sold. They pick up 1 more SCV. The Raven, you can see, is being hidden in the back. And you might think, well, this is an amazing start for MaxPax. You have to keep in mind, though, that 3rd is very late. Now, with this build, you get these Phoenix out. You've got great control. You're taking no damage. You're trading good. But it always comes at a cost, and that cost is that you do not have a Twilight Council. You've got a Sentry, 2 Adepts, 1 Immortal. Remember, 2 Adepts already died earlier in this game. Yes, you've got some Phoenix. Yes, your first Colossus should be starting in a moment, but he is supply blocked right now, which is why it hasn't been able to start. Chrono's into the supply block for an extra second or two, but not too bad. You'll see it pop up in production in a moment. Where? Oh my god, guys! His pylon finished, but the Phoenix and the Probe started, which chewed up 4 supply, which meant the Colossus, which takes 6 supply, did not start until the next pylon finished. Oh no! That's a big macro mistake there for MaxPax. The Colossus is very delayed. He should already have that first Colossus out. Instead, it's only halfway done. He is trying to go Forge and Twilight, so he's going to swap into a more standard ground style soon. But that's a little while away. He's still building Phoenix, still picking off Marines, getting great value. HeroMarine with no 3rd command center started. He's finally getting his stim and shields. He can't feel good about how many Marines he's bled off, but did manage to kill 1 Phoenix. And, you know, he's still going to have a very scary army, which he can move forwards with. And he's continuing to build tanks, which tells us it's more of a front-on style. So we were talking about earlier. You keep building tanks, and then even Vikings as well. You could do very well. Phoenix, if they can lift the tanks, Colossus can shoot the Marines. Great for MaxPax. Problem, Interference Matrix takes the Colossus out. The Marines gun down the Phoenix. You can imagine that this fight, it really depends on the angling of it. The micro, the control, and all those little details are going to be very impactful on what happens. Now, I love this Ring of Vision for MaxPax with the pylon, so he doesn't get surprised. He's going to have a second Colossus out. Viagra should be finished momentarily. He saw that Raven. MaxPax is like, please let me kill that Raven. He realizes how scary this is. Oh, I like the move forward. He's going to ambush. Force Field traps 5 Marines. I think that's worth 5 Force Fields. He does lose. Oh, he loses a Phoenix, though. Dude, HeroMarine is being so good with this Raven. The Raven dies from 7 Phoenix shots, guys. He's had 7 Phoenix most of the time, but he lost another one, and another one goes down. Oh, man, I think MaxPax is in trouble now. Charge is still a while away. He's on 2 gateways only. The Raven does go down. Okay, finally he gets that. An Interference Matrix landed. This is going to allow HeroMarine to push forward, but tanks are very slow to siege and unsiege. This fight will most likely decide the entire game. HeroMarine is just rallying units non-stop across this map. He hasn't built a 3rd command center. It's just tanks, Vikings, Marines, and Marauders coming forward. Another Viking does fall. Battery overcharge has not been used yet. He's saving it, but oh my god, the Bio's going to stim in the natural, and that is a huge problem. Phoenix go forward and do take out one of the medevacs. The tanks are waiting, and MaxPax, he's waiting to launch this in. The Colossus comes out, and in the natural, that's going to, with the Phoenix, make it hard to engage here, but without that battery overcharge being available, you can see the Colossus is taking damage. He's forced to engage here. He's gonna have to use battery overcharge on the right side. If the Phoenix were able to take those tanks out, it would be huge. They pick 2 of them up. The Immortal is gonna take out 1 siege tank, pulls back to the overcharge, but oh no, the overcharge is just not able to heal through all of that. And it looks like there's just a bit too much there. MaxPax floating a lot of money in the midst of it as well. He had to do so much fancy micro. He was not able to hang on. The delays on the early Colossus definitely hurting him. And just the way HeroMarine kept that Raven alive for so long and kept picking off the Phoenix. A very close game. HeroMarine was all in on that attack, but he gets the dub. All right, going into game 2. It's once again Cybercore before Nexus into a probe coming over. Pretty late probe scout. And he does see that HeroMarine wants that command center. I notice a lot of people block this too early. But in this case, actually gets in there too late because he'd already taken some damage. So no block available. Nexus. Oh, it's a Zealot coming out. Zealot into Nexus, into Pylon, into Probe, into second Gas Geyser. That Probe should be going back up here. Yeah, he's going to click it on the gas, but he accidentally rallies it on the outside. For those who don't know, pops on the same side that it goes in. So it's going to go about in a bit of a derpy way. Now, did he just lose his Probe? Guys, he lost his Probe to the Marine again. 2 games in a row. MaxPax. I think HeroMarine's been doing a good job of hiding that on the high ground. So the Probe comes into C, and he stops it from shooting until the Probe gets too close, and then just stutter steps forward and kills it. Oh my god, HeroMarine, you psycho. HeroMarine going mega greedy on Ancient System. He's going to be going for a 3 command center build, just defending with reacted Barracks Marines. Now the Zealot, if it can kill this Marine, if HeroMarine reacts slowly, this can really ruin his opening. Watch out, HeroMarine, you gotta... Okay, he reacts quick, but he's gotta pull the SCV off. He's gotta get those extra SCVs here. The problem is now there's gonna be an Adept here. He needs to keep building Marines. He's only queuing 1 more Marine, not 2, but he fixes it. He queues 1 more. But look at the way the Zealot's preserved its shields. And now it's gonna come in. The Adept's gonna try and get on top as well. 3 more SCVs, a genius pull by HeroMarine. This shuts this down pretty damn hard. He only loses 1 SCV. And this is a very good defense for HeroMarine. Yeah, he loses a Marine, but he's got 2 more out. 4 Marines, easy beats an Adept. There may be a second one, but I think he can buy time for the next 2 Marines to get out, and he should be okay. So HeroMarine sees the second Adept here. He's got his second barracks going up. If he can just hold on here, he should be okay. Obviously, it's tempting to build a bunker in this scenario, but more important, he just needs to keep up SCVs, mules, and Marine production. MaxPax may get another Marine there. But at the moment, HeroMarine's going to be a little paranoid. If an Oracle were to fly into his main in the next 20 seconds, he would take pretty big damage from it because he can't split his Marines up to defend. That would be something he'd take big damage to. He's going to go third barracks. Orbital is making, not missing a beat on his SCV production. Part of doing his build correctly is not freaking out and confidently building those workers. Now, he does take out the damaged Adept, but good micro by MaxPax. I really like the way MaxPax micros that. Unfortunately, he's not going to get that Adept out of there. But he still lowers that Marine count quite a bit. And then, remember, the Adepts scale pretty badly later in the game, whereas Marines scale quite well into the mid-game once Stim and Shields kicks off. So if you build a bunch of Adepts and then it gets to like a big Stim battle and you've got like 4 or 5 Adepts, they're kind of, they tank a tiny bit and they don't do much else. If you can trade off 2 Adepts for 6 Marines now, like that's awesome. That's good. Yeah, you lost a Zealot as well, you know, probe for an SCV. But I think that's a good time to shave these units off while it doesn't cost you too much. Now swap into those Stalkers that are going to scale a little bit better into the next stage of the game. Warp Prism as well, so it is going to be a 4-gate Stalker attack. This is not the fastest 4-gate Stalker. However, because the Adepts have been harassing, there was the Zealot harass, HeroMarine has also been slowed down a little bit by all of that. Keeping the Adept alive is very nice, and you don't get tanks with this style, guys. If he doesn't build a bunker at the natural... I mean, HeroMarine should know 4-gate blink timing is like about now. If he doesn't start a bunker right now, he's almost certainly dead to 4-gate blink. Simply because, like, even with Stim kicking in, he's not going to have shields, and he's not building Marauders, which I think is also a big mistake. Notice how he's gone 4 gas, factory, starport, engineering bay. He's investing in so much infrastructure, and he's been way too greedy, yeah. HeroMarine, I think, losing his sense of timing in this game and just completely dropping the ball. I think he was assuming he was against a Stargate build, and he's just wiped. Numbers-wise, you can't defend this. Right before all your upgrades are finishing, it's a very decisive attack from MaxPax, and I do think if HeroMarine had a bunker, you know, that might buy him time. Bunker, repair, and then if you force him to blink up on the high ground, it's going to be a different story if you can keep that Stim alive. But even that would have been a long shot, because I have a feeling Stim would have gone down very quickly. And if you lose that Stim, you're kind of screwed anyway. But the way to play this safer is, like I said, bunker and start building Marauders earlier. Delays your factory, your starport, your upgrades, that sort of stuff. But it's absolutely worth it. If you have 4 Marauders, they are a counter to the Stalkers pretty darn effectively. But Marines on their own, not nearly as much. And you can see having to Stim the bio, SCVs coming forward. I know I'm talking like it's already done, but MaxPax has micro, as if he does this right, it should be close to a finishing blow. 8 more SCVs, forcing the entire mineral line off. The Observer sees everything. He's got a third base. He's got charge on the way. I just feel in this scenario like there's very little HeroMarine can do. He's got a mass repair. He's got a mass repair, but oh, too slow. I mean, at least he stims forward to try to punish, but look at that Prism micro. MaxPax making every Stalker worth its weight in gold. Doesn't matter if you got 3 or 4 hit points, you're still going to kill a bunch of units before you go down. Now, I do think he stayed a bit too long. Maybe tunnel visioned on the Prism micro there, but 4 more SCVs, a bunch more bio, and of course, even though there's Medivacs out, you've got Stim, you've got +1, there's no shields, and you are struggling. But, you know, there's triple mule dropping. Does triple mule give you the comeback potential here? Okay, I'm starting to believe in the dream, the HeroMarine dream, the biggest of dreams, the gabest of dreams. And here we go, 4 Medivacs already. He's got good healing. Oh, and he's doing hot pickups as well and pulling the Medivacs back. You can see he boosted them. Stalker's going to jump in the main and take out a bunch more SCVs. The value's stacking up. Feels to me like MaxPax. Oh, this is beautiful. I think he could have blinked again. Picked off 1 or 2 more of those, but oh, he was getting jumped on at the front, and he traded what looks like a Marine for a Stalker. Oh, this is another 2 Stalkers. Ouchie, ouchies. And it looks like the Prism is just chilling for now, but there's no splash damage. It's just going to be 8-gate Zealot Archon as the follow-up here for MaxPax. He's got 3 mineral lines going, though, and no doubt HeroMarine will float that third out now. And this is, of course, exactly what we should be expecting MaxPax to capitalize on. I'd expect him to move forward and build proxy pylons, kind of either down here, maybe up here, and start warping in Zealots on the front and go for a big old attack. But HeroMarine actually has a bigger army. He's hung on right now. We see the survivability of the 3 command center build, and it's kind of funny because 3 command center builds, I really do feel Terran's playing this matchup like it's just the biggest gamble. I think they do... Like imagine if he had a few more Marauders in a bunker earlier, like we were talking about. He's actually miles ahead right now, as it is. Yeah, his economy is not good in comparison. But his army's bigger. MaxPax has no splash damage. All you need is a bigger army, and you're going to trade way better than a Protoss player in this sort of scenario. I mean, this Sentry can't really fight out here. MaxPax, what are we doing? MaxPax! Oh my gosh, now he burns a force field. Concussive is not done, luckily, for MaxPax. He can save that Sentry, and he does so. But I don't know if he can fight this. What do you got? You just got +1 units, and that's it. Okay, Zealots on the counter-attack are going to do nicely. I mean, if HeroMarine can just force an army versus army fight, he potentially could win the game. He's got 16 Marauders, 8 Marines, but 8 Zealots just warped in, going up to 10 gates as well. There's not many Marines in there. That's a lot of Zealots. There's an Archon, and of course the Overcharge available. That force field didn't get much done, but you can't fight into Overcharge. He needs to get out of there. HeroMarine needs to get out of here. Remember, this is, of course, all in the balance patch. This is all on the new patch, guys. It's just last week's cup. So the battery overcharge is nerfed a little bit. You still do not want to fight into that. You'd be very careful about bleeding off units in those scenarios. And oh, 2 medevacs up front, but MaxPax unable to capitalize. And holy crap, is HeroMarine actually just going to get a 2-0 advantage in this series? I can't believe this worked. I can't believe he defended this 4-gate. And this just shows... I looked at that scenario and said, how do you possibly defend with just a bunch of Marines? HeroMarine pulled the SCVs, he pulled the SCVs, and I think that's the secret to his early defense. He just kept tanking with the workers. He's now got a very big army, but he's got to preserve it. He cannot afford to lose these units. He's got to keep them alive as a distraction while the other army runs down the left. He's stimmed it across the map, though. It's a little bit sloppy. HeroMarine may be getting a little bit of a stiffy. He may need to tuck this one away. Units on the left are not getting microed. Units on the bottom are also fighting Zealot Archon. Oh, HeroMarine getting over-eager and getting a little bit sloppy. Too much urgency from him. Normally, urgency is a good thing in StarCraft, but in that case, I think he just lost fights on 2 sides at once. And that is a little bit of a problem, of course. Now... 4th command center goes down. That's very important. A lot of people, I think, really don't understand Legacy of the Void economy, guys. The number of games I see people just not build this 4th command center, and you see the Terran build like 70 SCVs instead before starting the 4th. Guys, if there's been a lot of action in the game, the main mine's out normally at about 8 minutes 30. The natural, half of those mineral patches mine out, 11 minutes 30. He's only going to have 8 workers mining here, 8 workers mining here in a minute's time. 8 plus 8 plus 16. Guys, I don't know if you're very good at numbers. That's 32 workers mining minerals efficiently. That's piss all, even with mules on top of it. Getting a 4th mineral line open is huge because you don't necessarily want to lift the main and abandon your gas geysers straight away. It's much better. If you can get an early 4th, it unlocks a huge amount of mining for you. And that's why I love that choice for that quick 4th. This is one of the big advantages that Protoss players normally have because they expand a bit faster than Terran, and Terrans often end up that 4th just stalled out over and over again. That's where Protoss gets the advantage. Now, MaxPax has got a big economy. He's adding all the splash damage. I like the attempts to Zealot run by constantly. So far, though, they've been cleaned up, and it's been very efficient as a game for HeroMarine. Zealots coming in on the Marines and Marauders. We got the army in the top left as well. HeroMarine's getting caught, but he's got a big run by on the right side, and I think a recall is going to need to get used here for Maximus Paximus. Zealots tearing up HeroMarine's 3rd base. That recall goes down. HeroMarine's got to be careful. He might get blinked on here, but actually that's not that many units. But the F2 comes in. The unit's coming from the middle of the map as well. HeroMarine's trying to get that base. He's got 1/1 upgrades verse +2. Scary thing for him is the Robo Bay are both down now. There's also a 2nd forge. If MaxPax can find the money, yeah, there we go. To get 3-1, start Disruptor production or Colossus, really round that army out. That could be huge. I like the way he's very focused on a big mobile force because I do think this is the way to play these big open maps. Getting Colossus, it's nowhere near as strong as on the last map pool. I like that he's gone Storm here. Even delayed Storm has great power. But Ghosts coming out are, of course, going to weaken that power a lot. Marine Marauder trying to kite him backwards into the mines, but the Zealots coming in, and that rally's in trouble. HeroMarine's going to need to do a lot of things all at once. Watch out for the Widow Mines, though. Clumped up Zealots take some big boy hits to the face. Oh, the EMP Viking snipe. HeroMarine cops a storm to the face, but the EMP plus the double Viking shot the Prism out with 3 High Templar still inside. Luckily for MaxPax, the Zealots are still smashing it. We are doing bloody great. And this is actually a very, very fun action-packed game. It feels like MaxPax has a lot of tech, but no DT Shrine and no 2nd Robo. There we go. 2nd Robo goes down now. Trying to rebuild his static D. HeroMarine's adding +2 armor. Planetary on the 4th base. DT Shrine. I was about to say, there. Where is the DT Shrine? Because HeroMarine is in a little bit of a fragile position. He doesn't have turrets everywhere. He's down in supply. And he's also not very far ahead in upgrades. Like, it's going to even out very soon. And in fact, MaxPax will take the lead on upgrades. MaxPax ahead on supply, ahead on bases, ahead on upgrades. If he gets DTs as well, starts trickling those into all the bases and adding disruptors, HeroMarine is simply behind. He's got to find a good fight, some damage. Up to now, his split fights have sucked on this map. They have not gone well for him. This army needs to run away. If he just clicks those guys away and then fights on the right, that's what it's all about. But a big juicy MaxPax says, get in the bath, you dirty Terran. Starts scrubbing behind the ears with that Psy Storm. Oh, nice Widow Mines, but a decent spready there from MaxPax does force the pickup on the right and also chases the army home on the left side of that map. +3 attack, +2 armor, second starport, ship weapons. HeroMarine's realizing he's going to need to go to Liberators eventually, so Fusion Core and a 5th base will be next on his list. Colossus shots getting decent hits. Vikings also taking out that Observer. The 2 Colossus and the Stalkers and the Zealots and the Archons turn, though. Vikings are not very good at kiting. Neither are Ghosts. The Stim Bio is a lot more mobile than the Vikings and Ghosts, guys. Uh-oh, here we go. What's that, guys? Bio Stim boosting down the right flank of the map. The High Templar is not quite there. He's just doing the distraction tactics. He's like, 2 dudes here, 2 medevacs up there. Let's see what we can do. He's got enough to take out those Zealots right now. But MaxPax is going to dive on the army. He says, okay, you're going to be annoying and hurt my economy. I'm going to jump on your army. Unfortunately, though, chasing into Widow Mine's never a good call. Marauders not having the same impact of damage as Marines. You can see they take a while to kill the probes, but he does save 4 of those. 6 probes in the end have gone down. Zealot Warpins and Stalker Blink does defend these drops. MaxPax is large and in charge, in control of this map. Stalkers will come down. They can't defeat this on their own, though. The classic Stalkers blink in. They kill the medevac, but they all die for it. And that ends up being a good trade for HeroMarine. With that Marauder, yeah, very good Marauder micro. Even gets another probe there. 12 workers going down. MaxPax has a good army, but man, there's no disruptors. And there's only 1 High Templar on the map. Right now, MaxPax is very weak. That force field is crucial. He needs to get out of here, I think. The choke point might be good enough for him, though. Especially if the Archons and the Stalkers can take out these Vikings. Good Archon volley, good Stalker volley. He's going to have to blink back again, though. He's losing a lot of units. The force field, oh, it would have been much better on the corner there. Dude, MaxPax, like I said, guys, right now he's weak because he doesn't have backup High Templar. He's only got 1 on the map. It's Colossus are very vulnerable to the Viking Marauder, but a Zealot run by gets in yet again, buying him time. The Terran has collated power. This is how PvT, it's how ZVT works. If you fight on the Terran's terms, you're in for a bad time. A lot of people out there are very adamant about not getting better at StarCraft. Instead, they watch games like this, they go, see, Terrans, you just can't fight them front on. And then they just, they ignore the fact that, yeah, but you've got, look at this mobility. You can A-move these Zealots in from all sides, and it's so hard for HeroMarine to force the fight that he wants. On the other side of things, as the Terran, they go, oh, they just A-move Zealots all game. It's like, yes, but maybe you could get like a bunker or some Widow Mine set up, deal with those, because your army is so much better in the frontal fight until they get so much splash damage. Those EMPs are brutal. As always, StarCraft is a game of skill, and so many of the whiners out there, that vocal minority, just forget that fact. They forget that it's all about who's the better player at the end of the day. And that's exactly what we're seeing here, is 2 guys who are the very best in Europe, dueling it out for dominance. The Disruptors zoning here. The Colossus, there's still 2 Colossus left. His last Psy Storm's gone. His Disruptors are running out of juice. HeroMarine tries to shove through the right choke, maybe a bit overeager. Cops a big ball on the left side. 18 SCVs have gone down. He's lost mining at his 3rd, and HeroMarine just got stretched too thin. MaxPax with some fantastic choke defense and biding his time, hanging on there. Despite HeroMarine putting up a good fight after I thought he was dead early in the game, MaxPax comes out and ties the series up. Alright guys, going into map 3, that was a good comeback for MaxPax. I do think maybe should have been a bit more cautious with those early Stalkers, or maybe blinked in the main a little bit more frequently. Just felt like he should have been able to break HeroMarine. No bunker, no Marauder production, no tanks. Doesn't matter, 3CC survives it all and turns it into a close game. MaxPax going for the Zealot again. Alright, so I guess HeroMarine's not SCV scouting, and MaxPax is saying, hey, let's go Zealot, Adept Pressure. This is a great way of putting pressure on. Unfortunately for him, this is a very different build. This is gas first. So this is gas first, which means, yes, the Reaper's a little bit later. Command Center's a bit later, which means HeroMarine knows there's no way he can defend a Command Center on the low ground from the Adept. MaxPax has now seen this. He knows what he's up against. And he's very unlikely to get any damage with the Zealot, but at the same time, it serves no purpose at home. So he's probably just going to run across, hit the depot, scout what's going on behind the wall off and see if he can do something. Marine! Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Normally you just go straight reactor with this build. It's one Reaper into factory reactor. As a result, you just have less units you can defend and fight with. There's just not as much you can actually fight with. All right, there we go. We got gas there. Oh, proxy pylon. Are we going to 3-gate? Reaper. Well, there's no chronos on warp gate. Then again, people don't really do that much these days. Question. He would have already dropped a 2nd gate, I believe, if he was 100% committing. But oh, he's going straight for the proxy on the 2nd gate. And does he build a 3rd as well, or is this just a 2-gate pressure? MaxPax getting highly aggressive. HeroMarine realizing he's about to have to deal with some pressure. The Zealot on the front is going to come in. Single drilly boy says, yep, you might have little laser side blades. I've got my drill, and counteracts your damage completely. So you can see the hit points on the depot are actually going up slowly. Oh, Reaper finds a probe. That's big. HeroMarine, drop a bunker, bro. You just saw a probe coming back. He starts a tech lab on the factory. I mean, does he need... If he stays on the high ground, does he even need it? 2nd and 3rd gateway are both coming up. The Marines and the Hellions here. Stalker misfired and hit the depot, not those units. And he's now spotted the gateway. Is he being cocky by not building a bunker, HeroMarine? Or does he just have faith in his production to keep up? I mean, it's going to be a well-timed tank. It'll be out at 4 minutes, sieging on that high ground. And he does pull the command center back. He's going to say, you know, I don't think I need to get the bunker, but I do feel like these modern builds with the double gas into the 3-gate, they just don't hit the sort of timing with crispness that Parting's old build did. And obviously they're harder to read for the opponents, but the moment they do scout something like that probe, you're in big trouble now. What the hell? He picks up and goes across the map. HeroMarine, brave boy there. MaxPax not going to commit. MaxPax, you got to get out of there, bro. You know he's coming across this map. You got to recall right now. You can't be... Oh my god, HeroMarine is playing so greedy right now. That is insane. Moving that tank forward there is absolute insanity. HeroMarine is not only playing with zero fear, he's playing with reckless abandon, and not in a good way. I often talk about that and I'm like, wow, it's doing so well because he's unafraid. Not in this case. Oh, the Hellion though, barbecuing these probes, and that looks like it's going to pay off. So slow on the recall was MaxPax. Yeah, I've got to wonder why MaxPax didn't react sooner with the recall. Like, yes, he got a tank, that's cool. Yes, he's denying the natural, that's cool, but he still has not recalled all those units home, and that to me is absolute madness. He saw all the Marines were missing. He saw nothing but one tank on top of the high ground, and he takes some massive, devastating damage. And I think MaxPax was just not expecting him to stay on the high ground so long, and in my mind, MaxPax did not have this build order properly mapped out. He did not have this build order properly mapped out. This is something I'm a little scathing with my criticism in this game, because when he ran up that ramp and saw a siege tank and nothing else, I mean, there is only one option there. And it feels like MaxPax did not pick up on that visual cue, which he absolutely should have. And yeah, he ended up recalling, but he recalled because he did another warp in on the front. That's what he ended up doing, guys, and that's why he wasn't in position. If he just had 4 stalkers ready, he could have shut that drop down at home and been denying the expansion. At least he gets a drop kill there. But yeah, definitely a big slip up from him. And now there's tanks and bunkers on the low ground, going into 2nd and 3rd barracks, building a Raven. HeroMarine has no pressure on him to do anything except macro on up. Get towards stim, shields. You can already visualize him pushing at the 9-minute mark with a couple tanks, stim bio, a Raven, first few medevacs out. And yeah, MaxPax has a lot of army. He's got to do damage right now. He's going to blink forward. Good blink, but oh, that's 3 tanks, man. He gets 1 tank, but this tank is covering so deep. Oh man, that's painful. That tank coverage is just a little bit too good, isn't it? And the hallucination got used up. I mean, what can he do now? Maybe blink on a tank if it exposes itself, but that tank, nice. Oh, it's a little far back, actually. So, you know what? There we go. Finding some value. Good job, MaxPax. Oh, the tank unsieged and pulled a bit far back. Does he blink on it? No, he's not going to. He's going to blink back. He's got to play this real conservative now, does MaxPax. Gets 4 more SCVs. Doesn't lose a stalker. Nice micro. Unfortunately, turret does come in. But, unfortunately for HeroMarine, there's a battery in each mineral lane which completely cockblocks this. He's going to try and... Yep, no, that's... Oh, he's got to overcharge. Otherwise, it will actually kill 2 probes. Which is still not the end of the world. Only 2 probes there. Stalker's coming in, but he's got to keep it in his pants now. And he does indeed do so. MaxPax going to drop that third in the near future. 15 Stalkers on this map, man. I think that's too many at this point. But you know what? The main's wide open. If he actually hallucinates again, but he doesn't have the energy. If he could blink in the main, he could get stim and shields and win the game. HeroMarine fixing that mistake, though. He's going to move that tank to the right side, or at least think about it. He's keeping one tank kind of mobile right now. He's going to move that onto that high ground. It's a pretty good call. Depot goes down. Good pick off by MaxPax. Third base is on the way. Can MaxPax get back in this game? I'm cheering for MaxPax a little bit because he's so far behind, and I always like to look at it in terms of can the underdog drag it back in? But now, once again, 3 tanks covering each other. Lots of Marauders as well, guys. You cannot get aggressive into 6 or 7 stim Marauders. It does not work. Oh, the Raven! Oh, the Stalkers blink forward and snap the Raven. Big mistake there from HeroMarine. He does start a third command center. He's going to start moving out with this army. But there's no medevacs on the field, and that means these Stalkers could get some high-value pickoffs. He's got to be a bit careful of the tanky tanks, but MaxPax getting some damage there, just picking off 1 or 2 Marines, wearing it down a little. I think HeroMarine doesn't really have the push, the ability to push too far out on the map. He can just kind of try to scare. Oh, MaxPax! Oh, MaxPax, you gotta be careful. You've got to assume they're gonna chase you. He doesn't. He loses like 6 Stalkers there, and an auto turret comes in on the third and gets 2 more probes. That is absolutely a mistake he could not afford. He's trying to go 8-gate charge Archon or even Psystorm here, but losing the proxy gate. Guess what, guys? That is only... Wait, has he only got 1 gate? Oh my god, he's only on 2 gates right now. He's trying to build 5 more. It's going to be 7 gate. But dude, so much army. And now that there's medevacs here, those 3 tanks have always been scary. There's double eBay, armory, more SCVs. HeroMarine is up 40 supply. The dream of coming back. You look at that supply count, and all I hear is Todd's voice. I can see him with a big fat smile, eyes wide, going, Piggy, Piggy, Piggy. Piggy, look at D, look at D. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Yes, I can see the supply count, Todd. I hear your wisdom. It does not look good for MaxPax. HeroMarine just has too much stuff. I don't know, if he kept those Stalkers alive, landed some big storms, I was like, maybe, just maybe. But the moment he lost those Stalkers, this army was able to push further onto the map without any real fear. He knew MaxPax had to fall back. And without a Prism, Psystorm very easy to avoid because he knows it's there. Despite that, HeroMarine stays rather clumped up here, trying to force the fight. Where's the pre-spread? There you go. You see, he does a little bit of a pre-spread. I think pro gamers often give bad examples for average Joes because they try to always split reactively, which pros can pull off most of the time. Sometimes it backfires, whereas for average Joes, it almost always is a terrible idea. Yet they say, well, that's what the pros do. It must be good. Forgetting that if you were trying to emulate an Olympic gymnast, you would break most of the bones and muscles in your body. And it's kind of the same thing when you try to reactively split. There we go. Even there, HeroMarine does cop a big storm because of it. Another decent storm on the top side, but of course, he's got just far too much damage. And that there is a decisive victory for Biggest Gabe. Alright, he's on a bit of a roll now. He's got into his groove. I do actually think skipping the bunker is arguably a little greedy, but the counter drop worked really well. Moving his tank forward was a disaster for HeroMarine, and it all worked out. I really feel like HeroMarine's not being 100% defensively responsible, but MaxPax has given him 1 or 2 freebies in this series. Of course, letting him get away with it, and that's something which, if it keeps happening, HeroMarine's very likely to take a 3-1 in this series. MaxPax now in the top left of Gressven, a map which is all about space. Because look at that main base. That's a lot of space to cover. So you can set up your production here and have tanks, and the Blinkstalkers can blink in, set up a campfire here, or I guess we should say over here since this is the Terran base, and then like run all around this main. So I would not be surprised for a 4-gate blink to come in all over the place and absolutely just rip people's faces off, going for fun and action and badassery and all the good stuff. On the other hand, once you get to 2 bases and then 3 bases and then 4 bases, what do we see, guys? Wide open space. Big, vast battle arenas where mobile armies will reign supreme. If you end up on the defensive on a map like Gressven, you very quickly are having a terrible time. Terrible time. Like, really, really bad, guys. So what you want to pay attention to is, once again, MaxPax losing the probe. He's got to stop doing this, mate. He's got to stop losing that probe. This is MaxPax making little mistakes that stack up. 1 probe doesn't sound like a lot, but I tell you, it stacks up. He did cancel the Zealot this game around, as this is once again a high ground command center and a quick factory. Not gas first this time, because he saved 50 gas by building Marine instead of Reaper. But yeah. If you're... a lot of Terrans will basically just go 3 Rex, and they'll just be like... or not even 3 Rex, but basically biomine. They'll skimp on tanks if they can. And basically say the best defense is a good offense. If I've got Bio Doom dropping your main, I've got Bio down here attacking your third. The openness of the map is lots of room for Widow Mines to plant themselves, to bait the Protoss into those, and to do good damage. And this is looking like a proxy medevac Hellion drop. So it looks like a 4 Hellion drop is going to come in from the bottom side of the map. It's not a bad style. But this Adept is coming across, and we'll get news of that very early on. And definitely something that should be on the radar. Second gateway is already down, which is very important. When you see the reactor on the factory, it could be Widow Mines, but Hellions and Widow Mines require kind of the same response, which is make a lot of gateway units as much as you can. And you'll notice he starts that 3rd gateway unit now, and then when Warp Gate finishes, he's going to warp in 2 more. That's going to give him probably 4 Stalkers, 1 Adept, which is enough to deal with 4 Hellions pretty quickly, because you can almost one-shot a Hellion. You can also kill the medevac in 3 volleys at that point. So it's definitely a situation where things get a bit better for you. Good micro on this Adept so far, but it's going to take a bit more damage than he probably would like, and he even almost loses it. Medevac is on the way. Behind his command center's up. And you can see 4 Hellions and then immediately swaps back. Why? Because Cyclones, tanks keep you safe. Marine production also gives you good, solid, raw fighting units. HeroMarine did accidentally pull his Hellions back a little bit there. Now the Adept is going to sacrifice itself to scout this one, as is this probe in the top side going to be looking around. There we go. 2 of those Hellions pulled back momentarily. That's slowing down the pressure. And the Adepts are going to see this, man. And that's really... Oh, is it though? Is it though? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The Shade sees it. He's got a battery there. And this is fantastic positioning for MaxPax. Oh, very good plays by MaxPax. Even surrounds with the probes. And that medevac's already used its boost. Does come off cooldown though. Gets in there. 3's enough to one-shot. I would have run those probes away if I was MaxPax. Oh, he's losing way more than he should. Oh, this is actually bad micro. He could have run his probes away there because he saw those Hellions so far ahead of time. That's actually a big mistake from MaxPax. Losing 10 probes was entirely unnecessary. He had the setup, and I think even stacking his probes there to surround the Hellions was actually a little bit questionable. Though that one was much better, but the one in the main, he could have grabbed all the probes and clicked on that gas when the medevac was like here. And yeah, you could argue they could run to the right, but the Stalkers were there. The only way he was going to do it was if the Hellions got up here and rotated around the left side, and the probes stayed there as sitting duck targets. He's going to drop a DT Shrine. You guys know I always compliment MaxPax on his Dark Templar brain. He is the one Protoss who is always thinking about when you can do it. Now, DTs are just bad versus Terran until late game, aren't they? Except in the one scenario where the Starport was proxied. Because by the time that gets home, you're already so far behind on your reactor. Building medevacs is so late, you go straight reactor, straight medevac production. You very rarely build a Raven off this sort of opening. And as a result, MaxPax has realized, hey, this is the scenario. I can kind of posture with Blink Stalkers, keep you busy, keep you focused on that, and then a DT is going to run in each mineral line. And if you don't remember to build a turret, there's no way you hold this. Now, you might be wondering, well, can't he just build a Raven Pig? Yes, technically he can. And he's actually building a tech lab on the Starport, which surprises me, to be honest, because it's so late in the game to build a Raven. Might just still be saying, hey, I damaged you enough, I slowed us both down, let's go for that Raven anyway. If so, that's good for HeroMarine. Warp Prism's going to come in that main base. DT Shrine is almost ready. Robo Bay is coming down and back up to 41 workers. But problem is the Prism's in vision right now, which means there's no way to sneaky warp in here, those Dark Templar. But 5 SCV kills is 5 SCV kills, and I ain't going to pass that up. And he's got space here. He could try to just warp in here. He's going to do it. Yeah, he's going to do it. Knowing that HeroMarine is dangerous to chase into these areas, Stalker Adept at the natural is going to try and just distract him. And actually, if he pulls those Stalkers to the left, he could kill that engineering bay out of range of the tank, but right now he's not watching, and that's a bit of a problem. The Stalkers are dying, but he's got a bunch of SCV kills. DT in the main does die very quickly. DT in the natural immediately kills the turret. Nicely done. Unfortunately, does lose only one Stalker at the front, but only one. It's not the end of the world. DT. Oh, the Stalkers actually go back in the main, but the tank is defending them. DT on the natural doing well. Where's his scan, guys? Oh god, he's still only at 35 energy. He needs 15 more energy to get the scan. But you know what? DT's just going to hang on the natural for now. He says, okay, turret's going to be up in the main, but as long as I'm denying mining, picking off SCVs, I can be a bit of a nuisance, and that's going to be fantastic. DT plus Stalkers going to go after that bunker as well. Going to stop him from getting the 75 mineral refund on that bad boy. And that DT is going to get taken out by a scan, but takes out one more Marine. Unfortunately, he did let the eBay finish. But DT going back in that main base, picks off another SCV. He's like, hey, wait, there's not that many units here, man. Does take out a Marine, but does lose the Dark Templar. Was this enough damage? In total, he's up to 14 SCVs killed. He's got 53 probes, a Forge, Colossus building. It feels like MaxPax with this very high IQ read of going for DTs to counter a proxy starport. Has to float home across one of the longest map in the pool. I mean, it's genius. It's a great play, but I don't think he's massively ahead. Stim, +1, shields concussive, all about to be done. The problem for HeroMarine is that medevacs are so behind. That starport only now building the reactor. If I was HeroMarine, I'd feel forced to build a third command center and continue SCV production. Just a single Zealot warping in for now. Looks like he wants to do probably a 4 Zealot drop. Stalkers at the front could try to pick off those Marauders, but you can see the Marauders are almost trying to bait those Stalkers into that tank fire. That tank's got that line of coverage right there. The Raven, the Bio. Come on in. He might even just try to surprise Stim on it, which is not a bad move, especially now that medevacs are building. MaxPax should blink back and run away. He's got to be careful here, because if he panic blinks to the left, he's just going to get stuck on this terrain. You got to be careful to blink that way or that way. Does take 2 tank shots. Not the end of the world. That's 4 tanks with a 5th on the way. It's a big push from HeroMarine. HeroMarine seems to be very focused on the big committed timing attacks. He's not overcomplicating things by trying to play safe and hedge his bets. Zealot's going to run in, trying to cancel the 3rd base that often builds on location behind this. He's going to see medevacs boosting forward to reinforce this attack as well as he can. We've got nice ambush here. Good couple of force fields, and oh man, I would have loved to see him. Oh, he gets the Raven. Nice done. I was going to say I would have liked to see the Colossus land a few more hits on the Marines, but still pretty darn good. Zealots evacuate the main army here. Really, every time you get Colossus shots off, every time you bait a stim out, you're really working the range advantage of the Colossus and the very low amount of healing in this army for HeroMarine. Marauders come forward, but they're getting toasted. Even though Colossus aren't great versus them, they don't have +1 yet, which is massive. Remember, Colossus have 2 attacks. So, especially when +1 armor kicks in, you need that +1 attack against those Marauders. DT's going to trickle out as well. Prism warping in a few more Zealots at the front. I think MaxPax is up far enough in workers that he doesn't have much pressure on him. He's just got to buy time. He's got to be careful with the pathing there. The Colossus, man. Colossus do some really dumb stuff if you're not careful. DT's intercepting the rally. I love this move. Puts pressure on HeroMarine in unexpected places, and it really piles up the pressure of him to deal with a lot of things happening at once. He's like, what? I'm trying to drop, but also there's a DT stabbing me dudes. He does scan and deal with it. This drop is going to be pretty nice, but don't want to waste it. Those Stalkers are going to come in with a vengeance. But nice hot pickup. Good split on the unit so far. Oh, Zealots get on top of the tanks. That's huge. That's huge. He kills 3 tanks instantly. Battery overcharge means that 4th tank should go down. He should click it, and he does. He does click it. Battery overcharge is there. HeroMarine's going to tap out. That is because Stalker Zealot was cleaning up the drop in the main. Colossus, he would have lost one of them, but then would have cleaned this up, especially with more units getting down there, and there were Zealots doing damage to him at home. A very nice Game 4 victory. We're going to get a Game 5, baby. All right, guys, we're into Game 5. HeroMarine in the top right of Altitude. This Mad Dog did not veto Altitude. What in the heck? Now, I gotta say, there is an argument for it, and that is it's so hard to defend your bases, and normally Terran's the aggressive one, right? But I really feel like if MaxPax can play flexibly here, and just don't play Colossus, they're useless on this map. It's way too wide open and big. Maybe not useless, that's a bit of a strong word. But if I want to see Storm, I want to see Mass Zealot Stalker Double Forge is probably the best style for this map in my opinion. So I would like to see MaxPax maybe cut a corner early, skip the Robo maybe, something like that, and get an earlier 3rd up, get into the Double Forge, and then just look to like Zealot Swarm. Phoenix Zealot, another good way to open up on this map, but you really want to play a mobile controlling style, because remember what I talked about earlier on Gressfin? I was like, hey, if you let them be aggressive and control the map, like they're just going to out-position you and out-multi-prong you. That's what's going to happen, right? If they, I'm not talking about committed one-directional push. I'm talking about if multi-prong aggression. I'm talking about people who are expanding and harassing and hitting you in all different areas. That sort of style dominates on these big, wide-open maps because it's all about whoever can control the map and the movement is going to find those good trades and those openings. Now, it looks like this was Nexus before Cybercore. Good choice on this map, but oh man. Dude, that Stalker was super late, right? That Stalker... Oh, because he sent an Adept across the map and wasn't able to stop the command center. MaxPax has not played the map correctly. I think he's barely played this map because Terrans tend to veto it. And sending an Adept across this map is a fool's errand. He'll never get there before the command center's finished. That's not a good call. He loses 2 probes because of that choice. He's now trying to play Phoenix, which is a good choice, but he's going to lose the Adept just for what? 1 Marine damaging a Hellion? Bad start here for MaxPax. He's going to have to knuckle down now and hopefully get his opponent. Now, HeroMarine did not see the Stargate, so he doesn't know, especially seeing a Stalker, that it's Phoenix. And a lot of players in this scenario would go for a Widowmine drop it. Oh, HeroMarine's too smart. Okay, HeroMarine is playing straight. Wait, is he just going to play completely standard? I thought he was going to go very quick 2nd and 3rd barracks for a moment, but 3rd gas goes. Okay, I think HeroMarine's just playing stock standard. He's playing stock standard, and Phoenix can do good versus this, right? We saw them pick off a lot of units in map 1, but he was already a little bit too far behind, I felt, in that game. This game, he is also a little behind, losing 2 probes in the Adept. Phoenix showed themselves pretty early, but at least this will deny future scouting. The problem being that he's going Robo, which means he's going Colossus, which is objectively not good on this map. The 3rd bases are spread too far. So MaxPax has misplayed this map strategically, to my understanding. Now, obviously, that's not a complete statement of authority because it's a brand new map pool. But essentially, you're playing one of the turtliest styles in the game, Phoenix Colossus, on a map where your 3rd and 4th base are spread so far, even defending 3 base is nearly impossible. But he catches the Raven, and suddenly I feel a little bit better about his position. Oh, no, get out, pick up and leave. Okay, he's going to take a fair bit of damage on those Phoenix, but they survive. They get the Raven. He's seen the 3 barracks, so he knows what he's up against. We see that Robo Bay go down immediately. 3rd base as well. He's already got 2 gates behind it. He's going to keep probing up for now, is MaxPax. And if he could get some more value with those Phoenix, that would be fantastic. Now, the problem is, this Hellion on the map really tells HeroMarine what situation he's in. Because when it comes in and sees that 3rd base timing, and I mean, he's already seen the 3rd is not up early, I think he can assume it's not going to be a Charge Zealot follow-up. And if you can assume it's Colossus, you can prepare very early on, either with a quick 2nd starport, or if you're doing a 2-base timing, you could build like just 2 medevacs, go straight into non-stop Viking tank. As it is, HeroMarine only went for a single tank because he knows there's no aggression coming. Straight into reacted Widow Mines and reacted medevacs, as well as that stim bio. Hellion comes in, sees that 3rd base. Yeah, I think this is playable for MaxPax for sure, but I just feel like when that stim bio ball comes across, if HeroMarine can hit 2 places at once, Colossus Phoenix will struggle. What MaxPax really needs, I think, is 1 more big catch. Like if he can catch a full medevac, or I don't know, get 1 good fight where the Colossus hits the center of the Marines, and then the Phoenix pick off like the siege tanks by lifting them, or picks up a bunch of Marines rallying in. Anything like that would be great for him. Getting chipped at there. He sees these Marines from behind, though. He should just go pick up the Marine rally. He should be flying around into the Marine rally right now. I don't think he should follow this army, but I guess if you have 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry at home, and that's literally it, you need the Phoenix there to defend, don't you? So no wonder he's defending like that. Hellion's going to kill this probe on the left side. There's already a ring of pylons to provide vision, but that does go down. Phoenix going to think about going across the map. Stalkers warping in 2 at a time. Colossus being chrono boosted. Having to keep track of this army is very stressful. It's not actually a big force, but I like the way HeroMarine has made MaxPax a bit paranoid and afraid here. Stalker and Phoenix should be able to take out this Hellion that's been a bit of a thorn in his side, providing way more info for HeroMarine than you would normally expect. Now, no Twilight just yet. +1 attack is on the way. It's still only 2 gate. I feel like MaxPax is over-probing massively right now. He's gone to 66 probes. He needs gateways. He needs the ability to build more units. Good pickups there. Finding that Marine rally is juicy. Yeah, he needed that. He accidentally attacks this cooling tower for a second there. Could go for the siege tank. I wouldn't mind risking it just to see if you can bait his stim and then quickly cancel the lift and get out of there. Colossus coming after. This looks like a good fight for MaxPax, guys. Yep. Trying to run away as HeroMarine. Phoenix have to be careful. You don't want to throw any Phoenix away, but you do want to make HeroMarine pay for this overextension. Oh, Widowmine drop just came in. 14 probes. Oh, a big boomy Widowmine drop. And he uses the Armory Widowmines to stop MaxPax from chasing him down. And he's going to keep Widowmine dropping. And that's exactly what you need to do. Don't overcommit to the frontal push. Use the multi-prong. And he's just punished the lack of detection hardcore. Oh, this is so frustrating for MaxPax to deal with. Look at that. That Widowmine in the main will fire again. I like that he's left a Zealot there to take that one for the team. That's going to go down. Phoenix Observer do clean up those Widowmines, but not before. Even more Widowmines! Come on in! And behind this, HeroMarine has a third command center, 2 more barracks coming in. He's really playing to the map, which is do the harassment, use the invisibility. It's going to be hard for him to get enough detection. Now start doing a double drop towards the main. MaxPax is scrambling. Luckily, the pylon sees the drop. His Phoenix can move over and maybe deal with that. Meanwhile, it looks like Phoenix Obs will clean up the Widowmines in the third, and the ground army will try to hunt down these Marines. But I think clearing up these pylons, that denies the vision, which is huge. In a big map like this, map vision, map control is everything. We've talked about that a lot. And I think this setup for HeroMarine is great because now he's not so far behind on the economy. And we've got to say, where's the charge? You know, what's happening for MaxPax in this game? He takes another Widowmine or 2 on these Phoenix. Hasn't lost any Phoenix just yet in this game. Picks off Marauder, but then drops it. Goes after a Medevac in the main. Does manage to take it out. Oh, he gets some more Medevacs potentially. Oh, he just goes after the Marines. Actually just picks up the Marines. There's so few units that shoot up here. More Marauders just in there. Oh man, look at this. Marauder buffet. Yum, 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 yum. MaxPax picks up a couple of free dinners there out of the back of the food truck. Runs off, even though he is by no means the intended audience or recipients of that charity. But he does take it anyway, Fight Club style. 4th Nexus does go down in the bottom right side of the map. Templar Archives. He builds a second Templar Archives. Shows he's a little bit panicky right now. Forgot that he already built one a second ago. And definitely 8 Gateway Charge is going to help. But Charge and +2 is still a little ways away. HeroMarine's army is going double reacted Starport Viking production. So 4 Vikings at a time. Oh no. Oh, MaxPax built a 4th Colossus. But he's stopped building Phoenix. Oh, this is a big misplay for MaxPax, guys, because the Viking count is exploding. Did he see the second Starport? Okay, I like that. Picks off the Widowmine. He saw the 2 Starports. He knows the Vikings are coming out. There's going to be 12 or 14 Vikings. They're going to eliminate these Phoenix so quickly. They're going to blast the 4 Colossus down. And then what do you have? A Sentry, a handful of Zealots, and a Stalker versus a Bio Army. He needs better units. He needs them right now. The Archons could help. The Archons could help. And Guardian Shield's going to be massive as well. But remember, there's no blink here. So you can't use Stalkers to blink forward and focus those Vikings down very easily. That's a very scary thing. I feel like there's a PowerPoint right here. HeroMarine's looking for this timing. He's got only 6 or 7 Vikings on the front, so that alone is not going to be enough just yet. But it's on the way to being very fantastic. Cannon battery and another battery in the main. Could deal with this with a big Zealot warp in potentially. Does warp in a couple of Zealots there, but in range of the Marines, they go down almost instantly. Phoenix are going to try to deal with that, but uh-oh, he's taking some damage. This allows HeroMarine to push forward on the right side as well. Phoenix will take out those Marines, but on the right side, the batteries expose the Vikings running in. I actually think MaxPax might have the numbers, but the position is so intimidating. And dude, just a little late Marine drop there. HeroMarine excellently adjusting to the map. I love the way he's playing this. And he's not even overcommitting to Vikings. 14 is the magic number. He's going back into more Medevacs. He's going to add Ghost Tech, 4th Command Center behind it. Oh, big Archon splashy onto those Vikings. If he can land a few more of those, maybe he can do it. The Phoenix are getting gunned down, though. It looks like he already lost a bunch of Phoenix to the Marines in the main base. There was only 3 left that came over here. And the Viking count is still very frightening. 12 of them in the sky, but all 4 Colossus are standing strong. Battery overcharge is going to be off cooldown in about 15 seconds. Archon Colossus could do okay, but the Vikings get their first Colossus kill. The Archons, one of them does fall down. Remember, Blink is not made here. He needs to start Blink so that he can control the drops and the Vikings as this game goes on. The first Zealot run-bys getting in here. You got to wonder, where were the pylons on the edges warping in Zealot run-bys this whole time? HeroMarine has been the one dictating where and when the fights happen. And finally, MaxPax does his first move on the other side of the map. But HeroMarine is already too big. The biggest Gabe here absorbs this, man. Right now, it's like shooting a pistol into a black hole. Big Gabe, he's don't go down the dirty line with that analogy, pig. Rein it in. Anyways, the Marine Marauder is going to cancel the 4th Nexus. MaxPax stuck on 3 base. He's in a bit of a struggle right now. Archon Zealot Colossus going to move to the left, but Blink is not done. And that's going to make stopping drops like that very hard. But HeroMarine not really watching. Does lose 2 Medevacs, pretty much full of units. Cannon, battery, more Zealot warp in. That's a good cleanup. MaxPax needed that. He needed that ever so badly. He gets it. And that's such a good cleanup for him. Because even though he loses the 4th, he's getting to double Robo Disruptor. He's going to keep trying to do Zealot run-bys. He's got to built that 4th base right now, but he's so darned broke. And these Archons that were his saving grace against the Viking bio, guess what, guys? There's 6 ghosts on the map. All of the hard counters are there for HeroMarine. The Vikings hard counter the Colossus, the Ghosts hard counter the Archons. 1 disruptor is not going to change that. You get 6, 7, 8 disruptors, it makes it very hard for the Terran. But right now, you need more disruptors to match the tech level of HeroMarine's army. HeroMarine also is way up on income. 70 workers and mules dropping up against 60 workers and no 4th base available. HeroMarine is up in every way except for army supply. That's the one thing going for MaxPax. He's got a big ball of stuff. Problem, he might feel like he needs to get aggressive and force the issue. And that could lead to HeroMarine getting a great fight. Now, HeroMarine does stumble into the army here. Oh, if you could blink and catch the ghosts, it'd be so good. And the Vikings, but blink is still not ready. And that's the problem with these Phoenix openings where you delay that so long. Zealots derping out a little bit there. Vikings coming in. Stalkers still don't have blink available. MaxPax is like, gosh, can I get blink already, dude? Prism in the back. I like that. Zealots are going to get in the mineral line. Oh, he's splitting the focus of HeroMarine. MaxPax with a big boy army. He's coming in with his big ball of Archons. He's got to watch out for EMPs. Disruptor shot does take out 1 Marauder Ghost, but it goes down. The Vikings punish him. A Colossus does fall. Zealots in the main base having a party, but that there is the choke point of doom. The Archons go in for it. The Colossus all 4 falling to the Vikings. Oh, that Disruptor shot was so close to landing on HeroMarine's face, but it just didn't quite get there. All those Zealots go down. 15 SCVs did fall. The Planetary is up on the right side, though. 4th base is up for MaxPax, but he might need to take a 5th immediately if he wants to maintain pace here. He's still got some Archons, some Stalkers, some units. That's all well and good, but the upgrades are a very real problem. +3/2 on the way for Terran. He's only making +1 armor. The Protoss units are getting more and more fragile, and they lack the big Blink DT backstabs, the 7 or 8 disruptors, the things that could give HeroMarine a lot of pause here, give him a lot of cause for concern. The economy is still not great. MaxPax is poor. He's on a budget. He can't do all of those many different things that create problems for Terran in the late game. And HeroMarine is out here with 10 Metavacs, 8 Vikings still. Unlimited healing. Luckily, the Vikings aren't the most useful unit anymore. But even just scanning and killing observers with them and then potentially landing them in a battle, they will complement the army. Yet again, the battery on the base on the right side goes down before the fight even happens. And HeroMarine very easily dodges the first disruptor shot. Oh my lord, disruptors running on empty right now. You got to be careful as MaxPax here. You don't have that many shots. Zealot run by runs into a big pack of bio. Good fight for HeroMarine. Cleans that bad boy up. Disruptors are empty. They're empty. And remember, when they are empty, that's when Terran gets especially scary. One of them's about to come off cooldown. And, oh man, he's just picking off Archons and Zealots though. And it feels like the shot fires and he's already dodged it. HeroMarine is baiting out the shots. Remember, 10 Metavacs is almost unlimited healing. Finally, one of those shots clips him on the face. Viking does go down, but only 1. MaxPax struggling to hang on, and now look at this. The move on the left side. MaxPax sees it coming, but can he defend the right? He's going to try and split the army. I don't think he has enough units on the left side. Maybe, just maybe he does. He's got to make sure he really chases that army down. A lot more bio coming in. 3-1 upgrades versus just 2-1. It's an extra upgrade advantage. Stalker's very vulnerable there as well. They're going to struggle. He's got to put a lot of attention into his disruptor management on the right side, which means the left side, he needs to have the raw numbers to fight, which he does not have. Raw numbers and upgrades are in HeroMarine's favor. He takes down the 4th Nexus on the left side. And I feel like there was maybe just a few too many mistakes in this early game. MaxPax, oh! Lands a ball on HeroMarine's face on the right side. But I think it might be a little too late. He's going to need a few more of those to get himself back in this game. Mining 3 bases at this point sounds good. It's not. It's 16 minutes in the game. He's actually mining about 1 base and a half of income. And that's getting worse. Every second that goes by, the minerals are running out. The main is almost completely gone. And nice pickup. No blink to punish it as they'd already used it. 3 Metavacs get out of that main base. HeroMarine is all over it. I like the way he's adapting to the big giant map. It's very hard to get across and finish the Protoss. But it felt like this game, I think the secret sauce, the reason this looked very good for HeroMarine is the Widowmine drops. The way he switched into Widowmine drops to set himself up for expanding and controlling and covering the map. He comes in now with giant moves. And look at that, the Disruptors, one of them finally lands, but it feels like half the Zealot Stalker army's already gone. A big one on the right side does land, but HeroMarine, my god, he's got legions to draw on right now. He's been drafting every single man, woman, and child into his army. And they are just going to overrun MaxPax. GG, well played, HeroMarine. The Chad game wins 3-2.